Good evening, all. Welcome to the August 25th, 2020, 6:15 p.m. open session meeting of the Ayer Planning Board. First order of business, a call to order. First order of general business to approve the agenda. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Any discussion on the agenda, anybody? Or any
Yes,
input?
Chair.
Yes, Mr. Krantz.
I saw some documents in our packet regarding Cataldo, and I was wondering if any of that's up for discussion this evening.
If we have time at the end of the evening, we'll touch on that topic under old business.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, thanks. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 I apologize for not saying good evening. I'm sorry. Again, these Zoom meetings get me so focused in. I'm going to do my best. I've moved my screens around, so hopefully I'm looking at the screen with the documents on it now. So maybe hopefully that will be better. First order of business is we have any covenant or bond releases. I don't believe we have any for this evening. So next is the amended stormwater management permit for Lot 6 on Shaker Road.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. I'm Neil Gorman from David E. Ross Associates, representing Shaker Nominee Trust. Representative from that trust, Daniel Aho, is also listening in. They're the property owners. If you'd like, I'll give a quick description of what's going on, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to share my screen. Oh, hold on.
Maybe not. Hold on.
I have a question for Cindy, real quick. Somehow I got blocked out. There it is. Okay. That was odd.
All set, Mark?
Yeah, I lost all the visual. Okay, now it's back.
I lost it there for a moment too, but I'm back. There you go, Daniel. Neil. Thank you. Yep.
Okay, so I'm not sure if you're all familiar with this A&R that was done back in 2019 under the previous owner known as the Home Scout LLC, where he divided this parcel of land into 6 lots, lot 3 being with the existing home.
Yep.
And we were back before the commission for a stormwater permit back in the September of 2019, where we got a stormwater permit approval for lots 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We were holding off on lot 6 because down next to lot 6 and on lot 6 is a wetland in which we had to go through the Conservation Commission. So we were holding off on doing any proposed work at that time on lot 6. So we had gotten approvals for 1 through 5. And I don't know if anybody's been down there, but all those buildings are up and pretty close to being landscaped, and some have already sold, which is everything's looking good out there. Fantastic. And for lot 6, well, that was the breakdown of those new duplexes with the house in the middle. And then lot 6 is this plan here. Can you see that? Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit.
Helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit better at this Zoom stuff too. So
you do realize, Neil, as soon as we're good at it, we get to move on to other things in life.
I hope they keep this because I live out in Ashby and this saves me a lot of travel. So gets me home a lot earlier to the family.
Yep.
I second that, Neil.
All right.
Yeah, I think we're all getting better at it. But yes.
Yeah. So on this plan view here, lot 6 is straddling the town of Ayer and Harvard line, as you see right here, which cuts right through the wetland. All of the proposed work is in Ayer. The blue area is the wetland. The blue dashed lines are the buffer zones from that. At the bottom of the road is Shaker Road. The gray portion coming in towards the brown structure is the proposed driveway. And the 2 highlighted areas are rain gardens, proposed rain gardens. The rain garden behind the house to the rear of the house is to collect all roof runoff via gutters and drain to this rain garden. The rain garden towards Shaker Road is to collect runoff from a majority of the driveway which goes through a stone diaphragm right along the edge of the driveway, then through some grass sod, and then ultimately into this rain garden.
Mm-hmm.
So what we've
Neil?
done is, yes, Mr. Krantz.
I'm sorry, Neil. What does the black dashed line represent?
That is the siltation barrier that we needed to put in place for the
Thank you.
Conservation Commission. Yep, good question.
Thank you.
So over the last month or so, we've gone through the Conservation Commission hearing process and have obtained approval from them verbally, and we're expected to receive their order of conditions any day now for this project. And part of what we submitted to them, and it went through the review of the DPW, was the drainage analysis for this particular design point of the project. The original 6 lots, there was 3 design points. One ended up out on Littleton Road. A second one was at a catch basin here in front of Lot 5. And then the third design point was basically collecting all runoff from the back of these lots through the woods that ended up in this low point by the corner of Shaker Road and the wetlands. So we submitted a new drainage analysis to the commission, which was then forwarded on to DPW for comment. And we went through a, conversation with them and made some adjustments. And we did receive from them in this memorandum dated August 13th that they were okay with and in agreement with our drainage analysis for this design point 3.
Thank you.
Without getting too, yes, sir.
I was going to say, can you go back to, I think it's site 4 of 6?
Yeah.
The one with the blue on it, please? Yeah, that's it. That'll do it. Fine. I'm
Okay.
trying to figure out the contours that run along the back of the 5 lots that come out.
Yeah, they all kind of feed down.
Yeah.
We had to build up a berm back here to cover the sewer line.
If I may, yeah. So if you are, I took a ride down there again today.
Yeah.
And I finally noticed that you had bermed up, and so I would say the entranceways, the stairways leading into each of the duplexes is a lot higher. It's a lot higher off the road than you'd expect if you haven't been watching what's been going on. So basically, guys, everyone, the buildings are higher up off the road, which allows for the swale down behind to capture the water and move it. That's going to be south? Yeah, move it almost south along the back of the property.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
And that was factored into our original post-development for the lots 1 through 5. So we knew that was coming down towards lot 6.
Mm-hmm.
And when we did those numbers, we were pretty close, a very de minimis change from pre-development, according to the calculations that we proposed and prepared, without getting too critical. And those numbers, even with our development of lot 6, we've actually decreased those numbers even closer to the pre-development for this property.
Mm-hmm.
And what we did to do that was the incorporation of those 2 rain gardens.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, this is mostly an open field, and actually the open field went into the wetland in this corner. The wetland was actually out in the open field. And with Conservation's input and with our proposal, we're proposing to do quite a few plantings in this crisscross hatched area, which is within their 25-foot vegetated buffer zone.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually extended it out into beyond even the 50-foot buffer zone in the rear, where some of that runoff that you were talking about from behind the lots is coming.
Mm-hmm.
So that added and helped our numbers, stormwater numbers, to let that wetland area grow back to its normal, add these plantings, and incorporate these 2 rain gardens for the impervious areas. And like I said, we improved our numbers from even what was submitted without any development on 6.
Okay.
Through the chair to Neil, please.
Please, Mr. Krantz.
Neil, just very briefly, do you have a rough idea what you want to plant there?
Yeah, there's a list on this plan up in the corner here.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, that's fine. It's a lot of information on these plans, so.
Actually, I don't believe we have a copy of, oh yeah, we do. Hold on, I'm looking across.
Yeah, we do.
I don't see it doesn't matter. I don't see we have a portion of it. I don't have the title plant list, but that's okay. Dogwoods, maples, honeysuckle, hazelnut, good.
And these are all natives, Neil?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, great.
So what we're seeking tonight is approval to amend the current stormwater permit to include this activity on Lot 6, which, again, was always in the mix, but knowing we had to go through conservation and get their blessing, which we've done, we've come back now before you to amend that stormwater permit to include this proposed construction activity on Lot 6.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions from any members of the board?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, please, Mr. Diskin.
Okay, Neil, I'm looking at this, drawing you put up, and there's a 6-inch drain at the bottom coming off of like 289, under the driveway over to one of the rain. No, actually, it's not a rain garden. It's a stone outlet of some sort, I guess.
Correct. Yep.
So is that just picking up a swale, more or less, or what are we doing there?
That is actually subsurface water. That's all connected to
Oh, it's
the
connected
new.
to the other one going up the street. Okay, now I see it.
It's all the footing drains in the 4 new duplexes. So that's all subsurface water. There's no contaminated water getting into that. So then we're just daylighting it to riprap to slow the velocity and disperse it.
What's it doing now out there?
Well, it's coming to about the driveway right now. There's a pipe there. If you were to go out there now, it's daylighting there now.
Okay, all right.
But you don't have too many groundwater issues this time of year, so.
There's no
That's
water
for
in
sure.
Bennett's Brook at this point.
Yeah,
I don't know if you noticed.
We can-
I was
So all
over
we're
there
doing is
today. It's just
All
a
we're doing
mud.
is, we had an easement including that location.
I see it now.
We're extending that easement to include the extension to get beyond the driveway and to daylight it further down.
Fantastic.
Thank
And
you.
that was
So this-
heavily discussed as well with conservation. They completely understand that aspect of it.
Mhm.
I guess so this lot ends up being quite a catch-all for the whole side of the street, basically the new development on the side of the street.
Well, the other lots had huge structures built
Oh,
in
yeah,
between the
subsurface.
duplexes. If
Right.
you remember those. So this is
Yep.
kind of catching what's coming off the back wooded area by the condos and what impervious areas we've created on our lot. Just so you
Okay.
know, this duplex is a smaller version of the other ones. It is a
Mhm.
reduced size in order to minimize our impact to the area. So,
Actually, I was going to ask you, any other questions from board members?
I have one more.
Yes,
Yes, please
Oh,
go ahead,
Ken
Mr.
first.
Diskin. Go ahead, Ken.
So the other driveways that you showed on the other drawing showed it to be narrow and then wider. This shows like a full width pavement.
Yeah.
Right to the width of the condo. Is that what's going to go in, or is that just a proposed, something will be different than that?
it is going to go in like that. We calculated accordingly. This one, because it's so downhill, it actually will have drive under garages where the other ones are at first floor.
Oh.
So being drive under, we didn't want to minimize too much on the pavement if we could. Just it's going to be tight in there with some grades.
You don't have to have an elevation of this one handy, do you? But that's neither here nor there. So, yeah, Ken, Mr. Krantz, you had a question?
yeah, just quickly, and at the risk of having stones thrown at me, I just want the Harvard Air boundary line. That's the line that we understand as the official. Yeah, you're smiling. You know what I'm asking. This is the one that conforms to the stamped by a certified surveyor stamp. Boom, that's that line. This is the line we're looking at, right?
That's the line we've used for the A&R plan
Okay.
for this project and other projects nearby.
If I may.
You haven't heard anything from anybody, right?
I have
Any
not.
issues? Good. Thank you, Neil.
Let's be clear, Mr. Krantz, we will certainly hear if there is even slightly a thought on the other person's. Yes.
Let's hope that the the townsfolk don't show up with torches this evening. Okay.
Our townsfolk are more than welcome.
So, would you mind, Neil? Could you just back out a little bit? Nathan, do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question.
ahead.
Is this, just for my own information, is this A1 or A2?
This is A2.
A2, okay. So,
Actually,
Then-
wait.
Be careful.
Time out.
It's GB that allows for multifamily.
okay. Okay. And I'm assuming that we have Or do we have the 60% minimum open space? It looks like it.
Yes, that would be the pervious area. So any area that's proposed for landscaping has additional landscaping or allows water to infiltrate.
Okay.
Considered open space.
Is that calculated on a drawing like this? Does Neil have it?
I don't have an exact number, but our property we own is 52,600 and something square feet, 32,000,
Yeah,
which
pretty
is
big.
almost 33 within air.
Okay.
But our only impervious footprint is this building here and this
The driveway.
impervious. So the whole lot extends all the way over to the corner here. So I don't have the exact
Wow.
numbers, but to me, it looks well under 60%.
Sure. Okay. Yes.
Can I make a comment, Mr. Chairman?
Please do.
Nathan, thank you for the question, because I'd like you guys to look at this plan and keep in mind that there was actually a provision in the air zoning bylaws before we changed them that took out the wetlands from the calculation, but it doesn't anymore, as far as I know. So what Neil says is correct. You know, you have to take the whole lot in consideration, but something we should be thinking about in the future, and this came up on the West Main Street projects that were done by Mr. Moore, the storage buildings. If we were to put back in the fact that you couldn't count the non-buildable space as part of the, let's say, upland, you know, that's undisturbed, it changes that percentage substantially, meaning it makes it harder to get that squeezed in. So we should be thinking as a board, Mr. Chairman, sorry to butt in, but
Oh,
just
that's
because
please,
this
no, Ken, please do.
graphic happens to demonstrate the issue, where we can consider, and there was an item in the past, we'd have to go back to an old bylaw that talked about a percentage that was taken away if it was in fact, you know, wetland and unbuildable.
Mhm.
But in this case, it's not. So there's plenty of open space. Thank you.
Exactly. So, any other questions or observations from the board, members of the board? If I may, I'd like to just ask a couple quick questions, you know, because I did go over there and take a look at it, and that lot is basically in the condition it was left in after the original site work was done. So it looks to me like this new building you will be berming up where the building's going to go in. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
it's going to be raised up from the front of the building to the rear and on both sides.
Yeah, I'm looking at my copy because I've got it enlarged, so it looks like it's like a few feet. It's like a few vertical feet. You got 31 feet to the board to the not all of the dimensions are on this picture, but that's quite all right. The lot 5, lot 6, the boundary line is 31 feet 8 inches away, so that makes it with our dimension. The front of the property, is 30
4.
feet back from the road. Am I reading it correctly? I don't think it's
44
wrong.
feet, 30 feet's the minimum.
Thank you. Yeah, you know that 40. You know what it is on my copy? That dashed line is with a 44, and I couldn't figure out what those
Oh,
were. I thought those were
yeah.
arrows facing up.
Too much information on one plan.
You know, if you're looking for the information, you can find it. That's a good thing. So I just wanted to double check with that. One other question I had was, you've got the pervious surface of the roof of the building. Are you going to accomplish all the water going to the that must be the southwest corner of the building, or are you going to how are we getting the water to that rain garden, or is it always
The
come up on the
gutters
south
and then
side?
subsurface drains.
Okay, they're not in this plan that I can see. Am I missing something?
Yeah, there is one
They
there.
are shown with the
right.
drain line going. You see this D here,
Thank you. Yeah.
and the circles at the corners where the
Got it.
gutters are.
Again, I did not insist upon printed copies this time you know, I'll get better at it. Okay, thank
No,
you.
that's fine. Good questions there.
And I want, and can you yeah, move it down a little bit more. Perfect, thank you. Yeah, I see where the drain lines are. Okay, and then you've got the overflow heading out to the proposed riprap apron,
Right there,
right at the
yeah.
25-foot buffer. Okay.
Right.
Fantastic. And Dan, you guys have seen this stuff and you're happy with it?
Yes, that's right. We reviewed it as part of the Conscom submittal, and we're squared away with stormwater.
Fantastic. Okay. Any other further questions or discussion from the board? on this
I
item?
have one more thing, Mr. Chairman.
Please. Yep.
If you'll indulge me, going back to Mr. Kranz's comment about the town boundary line, if we went back to the original A&R plan, please, Neil.
Yep.
And it's fascinating that on this plan, as well as other plans we've seen, if you look on to the lower section of lot 6, if you had put your
Yes.
if you could put your highlight down there, Neil, with that, the note says roadstone, drill hole found, and you see the little square.
Yeah, I'll zoom in for you, Ken.
And that's got to be 50 feet, 40, 30, 20 feet?
It's like 30, 40 feet.
30,
something
40
like
feet
that.
from the boundary,
Well,
exactly.
this is the same roadstone where we've had the discussions in the past, but it's evident here that's pretty clear that the roadstones don't line up with the boundary line, just for a more of a follow-up for our board, that's all. Thank you
And
very much.
actually, if I may, Mr. Diskin, if you continue out that line to the left, which would be south, there's a drill hole found also at that
Corner,
corner, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's their lot, that's Tracy's lot to the left.
exactly.
But it's kind of amazing that, the engineers have picked up these roadstones, shown them on plans, and it is what it is. Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome, Ken. Thank you.
Fantastic. So I'm looking through, and Neil, thank you very much for your presentation. If there's no further questions, I'm looking through the recommendations from Mr. Archambault. And
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I could read.
do you happen to have these, Jonathan? Do you have,
I don't have it printed out.
okay, then let me just, in the interest of moving forward, if you don't mind, Jonathan, I'll do
No,
it in
of
the
course
best.
not. Go right
in the
ahead.
best ways. I'd like to read the recommendations just so they're in the record from Mr. Archambault, because I think
course.
I think we are all in agreement. This is on page 2, recommendation. Under Article 2, recommendations. A, recommendation for August 25th, 2020 Planning Board meeting based on the favorable opinion of the DPW superintendent and the approved order of conditions issued by the Ayer Conservation Commission, recommends that the planning board approve the amended stormwater management plan for Lot 6, site plan L-14044. I didn't check those numbers. Did you happen to check them, Ken?
No, I didn't check.
Well,
I
I'm
can
gonna do
bring
that.
up that plan if you want. It has the
Let's
number on it.
Neil, let's just get it right tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's hard enough for us to get these things signed for you and to you in a timely fashion. So let's see if we can get that right. Recommended finding: the Ayer Planning Board finds that the revised stormwater management plan (SMP) for Lot 6, Shaker Road, as revised by David E. Ross Associates on August 10th, 2020. On behalf of the Shaker Nominee Trust, is in keeping with the stormwater management plan approved by the Planning Board on September 10th, 2019. The revised SMP is hereby incorporated as an amendment to the plan approved on September 10th, 2019. I have to change something on my screen to see this. Yes, it is plan number L-14044. It's in the lower right-hand corner. And there's a recommended motion to approve, and if it's okay with the board, the chair will read the motion. And the motion goes: the Ayer Planning Board approves the revised stormwater management plan, SMP, for Lot 6, Shaker Road, as an amendment to the SMP approved on September 10th, 2019, with the following conditions. General conditions as described in the notice of decision dated October 1st, 2019. We will save us from reading that again. And special conditions, we have none at this point. Do any of the board members have any special conditions they'd like to recommend? Hearing none, can I get a second for the motion, please?
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Looks unanimous, Neil. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
No, we appreciate it. And I got to tell you, I never thought I'd say this, but it looks nice in there. Done a really nice job.
Mr. Aho does a
That's what I
nice
was going
job.
to say.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
nice job. I'm curious what's going to happen across the street, but that's going to be another day.
Again, I appreciate all your time and your effort. Have a great night.
Thank you. Okay, next on our agenda is a continued public hearing for special permit 14 Washington Street, and followed by a continued site plan review for 14 Washington Street and a continued review for amended site plan for Ayer Solar 2B. During the day today, we were contacted by the engineer. I don't have the email in front of me. Mark Archambault, do you have it?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's asking for our forbearance again?
Yeah, he's asking for us to continue the hearings for both Washington Street and Air Solar 2 until the September 8th, 2020 meeting.
Okay. September, I'm sorry, what was the date again?
September 8th, which is the Tuesday immediately following Labor Day. So that's something that the board may wish to consider as far as making a decision. I think that, given that it sounds like the plans will be changed fairly substantially, and since I will be out all next week, I will not have had a chance to really review them for a staff report and recommended conditions.
Okay.
So it's likely that this case will need to, in any case, be continued to September 22nd for action. That's presuming that GPR gets us the revised plans in time for September 8th.
Yeah. So why don't we do this? Why don't we, I'll need 3 motions done individually to continue the public hearing. So let's take care of that. And why don't we discuss our September plans during new business at the end of the meeting, please. Okay?
Jeff, just
Yep.
real quick, when you're continuing the hearings, you need to continue them to a date. So if you're going to discuss changing the meetings, you just need to keep that in mind when you're making your motions to continue.
I got it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Jeff, are you looking for a motion for continuance to September 8th or September
Yes.
22nd at this point?
September 8th.
September 8th.
That's what
Okay.
So I'm going to be here.
Okay, so I would like to make a motion to continue the public hearing for the special permit at 14 Washington Street to our next Air Planning Board meeting on September 8th, 2020.
Thank you. The second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Nate. Everyone's muted. It's great. Moved and second. Any further discussion?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
I'll vote yes on this motion if we respond to the applicant with a solid date to which he must give us the documents in order for us to maintain the September 8th hearing date. In other words, if we think that we have to have them the Tuesday before the meeting or the Wednesday before the meeting, if he doesn't make that date with the drawings, we're giving Mr. Archambault 2 to 3 days at least to review them, then he's not on the 8th. It automatically would go to the 22nd or whatever the next meeting is.
Can we change the wording of the motion to say, which is expected to be September 8th?
We can just vote the motion down and put another motion in. Or add language. I'm just trying to condition the motion on what makes sense to me.
So here's how I see it. Yes, I agree. We need to get it in and get it worked on, but we don't know that we can get it before then, and we don't know if our meeting's going to get moved at this point. So in order to move through the agenda and give Stormwater some time, I'd like to see if we can't get motions that'll take care of it and move us forward, and we'll take care of that over the next day or two. And I'll make a point of reaching out to the engineer if Mark's not available to do it. Okay? So, Jonathan, would you consider rewording it to say the next Air Planning Board meeting expected to take place on September 8th?
Yes, so I'd like to amend my previous motion to say it's a motion for continued public hearing for the special meeting permit for 14 Washington Street intended, what's the exact wording for
the next Air Planning Board meeting?
For the next, we move it to the next Air Planning Board meeting expected to be September 8th, 2020.
Great. Have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you. And I think the same thing for the next two also, Jonathan?
Yeah, yep.
Sorry to move us along, but I want to stay on. I want to get us done on budget tonight.
Do you need to get the nays officially, Jeff, before I move on?
I'm sorry. Any opposed? Thank you.
Okay.
I'll abstain.
Abstentions?
One, me.
Sorry, one abstention. Yes, thank you. Okay.
I make a motion for continued site plan review for 14 Washington Street to the next Ayer Planning Board meeting, which may be September 8th, 2020.
Thank you. We have a second, please?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstention?
Me, Ken.
Got it.
I make a motion for continued public hearing. Oh, sorry. Actually, do you need a motion for continued review for the amended site plan for Air Solar 2B? Do you need that? You need that?
Yes.
No?
Let's just do it, please.
I make a motion for continued review of the amended site plan Air Solar 2B to the next Air Planning Board meeting expected to be September 8th, 2020.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Nathan. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention?
Ken abstains.
Thank you. Okay. Fantastic. So that brings us to our continued public hearing for stormwater regulations, if I'm not mistaken. Mr. Dan.
Hey, good evening. How we doing? All right, yeah, so why don't we just get right into it? I'll show you the changes I made since our last meeting. So I'll share my screen now.
Dan, while you're doing that, can I ask the question, did you find any pushback on any of our recommendations or requests from the last meeting?
No, I did not.
Okay, great.
All right, am I sharing? I am, it says. All right. Oops. All right, here we go. So revision number 3, changes I made last week on August 19th, based off of our meeting. So the first change is I put in paragraph 1, the purpose, just to cover us when there's a reference to a regulation, if there's any supplemental amendments or the latest edition of that regulation, verbiage for that, which is something we went over last time.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, to you, to Dan, just a very minor comment. It should read supplemental in that second line.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so spell check didn't catch that because it's
Yeah.
But it's the correctly spelled word.
the AL. I've had bad luck with spell checks lately too, so.
Okay. Okay. Kind of going along further. I did this in track changes, so it'll show up.
Mm-hmm.
We added, we get into fees, engineering and consultant reviews and fees.
Hold on, Dan, excuse me,
Sorry.
Mr. Chair. Can you go back to page 2?
Sure. 2. Yep. This page or?
Page 2, please. We had made some notes on that, but I wasn't sure if you got them or not.
What section are you
Excuse me,
looking at?
the next page after page 3, sorry.
Okay. Oh, subdivision or A&R or, yeah, we did those.
Okay, you got that?
Yeah.
You did that during the meeting, actually, probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
must
thank
have
you.
missed it on the track changes. Yeah, I am in
Okay.
all markup.
Got it.
With that. Let's see. So some minor section changes here, just for references within the document. And then so back to where we were, engineering and consultant reviews and fees. I added the term or agent, which is something we talked about last meeting. Determining the engineering and reviews fees are necessary, authority or agent. So then we get into major projects. We say a fee will be required for engineering or consultant reviews. I added this section on my own based on some discussion. The DPW review fee would be submitted with the application. And then I said for a consultant review fee, it would go into the interest-bearing account. you'll see when we get talking about the fees later, when we talk about the application, the DPW review fee, of what that's based off of. And we touched on it last time, but, which is right here. I said, please refer to the fee schedule listed on the application. D. This turns into section B. And then I have a section 3 here. It basically describes when the DPW will review versus a consultant. And so when engineering review is required, the authority shall communicate with DPW to determine if DPW is able to review. When the DPW is unable to review, an outside consultant shall be hired. And then, let's see, let's just bullet here. I don't know why that's track changes, but part D, fees for O&M performed by the town. This came up last meeting. So I added a paragraph in here. So when the town takes ownership of the project from an owner, a maintenance fee will be required. I put in that an annual fee will be based on the estimated value of annual routine O&M of the stormwater system. And I added a sentence, additional fees may apply should additional maintenance be required. So we're basically covering typical maintenance, but then if something out of the ordinary occurs, it could be more.
Right.
So that's
Or
why.
what if it was ignored for 5 years and then turned over to us?
Exactly, yeah. They could
Exactly.
be, yeah, more than just your routine maintenance. So that's why I threw that second sentence in. Or I guess it's the third sentence.
Dan, excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
See what the heading on, okay, never mind. I was going to say the stormwater, I'm talking back at the surety of the bond, stormwater maintenance bond to be required to ensure none of the only word that applies there is bond, I guess, and no other word. Under C, stormwater maintenance security, there's no other term.
Yeah, we want money. We want money.
I mean, it's always going to be a bond. Okay.
Oh, so this
Is there any other
word, the fee?
surety other than a bond, I guess is what I'm asking for, or that we need to put in there? Or maybe it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think, are you, maybe this word, the fee, instead of fee, it should
No.
be bond.
If I may.
No, fee, no.
Fee
The
applies
sentence
to
above.
D. Fee's a D, but I'm talking about C, sorry.
Okay, yep, this paragraph.
No, the one
So-
above, the number 1 on the C1.
Yep, right here.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if bond is the only thing, or is there anything else, letter of credit? I don't know if there's anything other than a bond.
Yeah.
And it does say the word may, so I guess it doesn't necessarily have to happen.
If we think about this, for John Carroll Reserve, we asked them to create an account. And in that account will be money to pay for it.
Right.
So basically, I think what we're trying to get at is we need something that's fungible funds that we can get to, that the town, we need to protect the town's exposure to cost here. We're using bond as one
Right.
thing, bond is pennies on the dollar. Okay? And so,
I was wondering if we could put the word the stormwater maintenance fee or bond.
I think fee,
Excuse me?
Yes,
yes, I think fee or bond, and I would change
So let-
both to be fee or bond.
Fee or bond, is what I'm saying. So if we determine it's 25,000, they may just give us a check for $25,000. We put it in the bank.
Yeah.
Something like that, 5,000 a year or something, I don't know. Whatever the number is. Fee or bond, thank you.
yeah, give us more flexibility. So it's something like these edits I just did here.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to take a unit against a cost. I don't want to hold a piece of land against having to come up with money for a cost. Is that what you're thinking, Ken?
No, I'm just thinking it's a better, I was thinking it's more broad-based if it says the word fee or bond.
Okay.
Just give them the option.
Yep.
And if either one, in either case, we get a financial protection. I guess that's all I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah. Okay, carry on.
please.
Thank you.
Dan, don't misunderstand. I'm not being impatient. I just want to get through everything tonight.
No, yeah. All right, where's our next edit? Well, just some section changes I had here inside the document, minor edit. Okay, we talked about this for the as-built plans, final inspections and reports for a major project, certified and stamped by a licensed Massachusetts PE, so we included that language.
Okay, thank you.
And then further down, we talked about the schedule for submitting as-built plans. And based on our conversations, it sounded like 6 months was what we were settling on. So after completion of the approved modifications, 6 months. So that's what I've installed in the document here. So I think that's good, but yeah, so that's what.
Well, I'll take a second and talk about this. If they can't get it done in 6 months, they can come to us and ask.
Yeah.
Is really what it comes down to. But the people who are doing large projects, they want to get in and get out. And this helps them get along also. And given today that it's done with computers today, it's not hard. You're not redrawing a whole set of plans.
Yeah. No, that is a good point. Yeah.
In no way am I minimizing what people do with CAD and stuff like that, but it does happen quicker. And you can print and deliver electronically, so there's not a lot of delays like used to be with blueprints and stuff. So.
Okay.
Who will track that timing?
That is a good
We'll
question.
think about that later. Okay.
Yeah. So it'd be once we get the final report, the clock starts.
Yeah. We had that come up with the Global Montello. We'll be talking about that later. You won't be here, but they had to perform, and we reached out to them, and they looked like they were prepared to perform. So it's good.
Okay. Now we're talking the section perpetual inspections and maintenance. Item A4, authority or agent shall notify the owner of the system if the requirements of the O&M plan are not met. So we just added or agent. And in our bullet number 5, where the town takes ownership, a maintenance fee will be required. And we just talked about the language we added for that maintenance fee in the earlier section. And that's it from the previous meeting. So those are the changes to the stormwater regulation document.
Okay.
So there's one other thing to go over, the stormwater permit application.
Yeah.
So do you want to head over there, or do you want to?
I'd like to, but I'd actually like to ask the board how they like to handle it. So we're going to get to the stormwater application inside. If I'm not mistaken, Dan, we're going to talk about the fee structure also for the application. What I'd like to do, if it's okay with the board, is treat this document as its standalone. If there's any further questions or discussion about this document, let's get it done. But we spent a lot of time on it at the last meeting. I think the changes have been incorporated in a positive way. So are we at a point where we can accept this document? Can we do it without the application at the same time, or?
I think
I
we
don't know
can.
the answer. Huh?
I think we can.
Okay. So if it's okay with the board, I'd accept a motion to accept this document with the additions and changes as presented.
I make a motion, we accept the draft stormwater regulations with the changes as articulated by Dan Schalkwick.
Which would be in concurrence with number 3 dated 8/19/2020.
Yes, in concurrence with the 8/19/2020 changes and any changes made during our conversation in the meeting today, August 25th, 2020.
Fantastic, thank you.
Seconded.
Thank you. At a second, any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. There we go, Dan. Thank you very much. Good
Okay,
job.
great. All right, so you ready to go to the application?
Let's talk about the application and the fee structure, please.
Okay, here we go. So we'll go through this briefly. So the beginning of the application is 3 pages. First page, just describe location of property.
Mhm.
the owner's information, the engineer's information, if applicable. And then we get into assigning the project type. So that's defined in the stormwater regs and in the bylaw as to the criteria for each project type. So there are check boxes here.
Mhm.
And then there's also check boxes for modification of a permit or extension of a permit, in case they bring it back to us.
Mhm.
And then a section, detailing if there's any other jurisdiction over the project for them to let us know.
Would other be NIPDs think something like that?
Yeah,
What else would you?
Could be.
I just
maybe there could be DPW permits, water and sewer.
okay.
That. Let's see. So then we get into 6 required submittals. So this is a little detailed. So the completed stormwater management permit application, that's this form we're going over. Written authorization signed by the owner if submitted by another individual. The stormwater management erosion and sedimentation control plan. So the plan that's described in the regs. The O&M plan described in the regs. For major projects, we're requiring a certified list of abutters within 300 feet to be notified. And then we get into fees. So application fee, I put a fee of $150, and that was something I assumed based on similar towns and also based on fees we have for existing applications, such as site plan review, et cetera. Just kind of based on the amount of work it's going to take to review an application package and determine its completeness. I figured that was a good number, but I don't know if what the board.
I think Mr. Kranz has a point to make.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm moving ahead maybe a step, but I just wanted to be sure that when we look at the fee for the DPW review fee, the minor project of $100, major project, a half a cent per square foot. And I just want to make sure we've done the math so that no major project would actually come under $100, right? If we do if we do the square footage requirements for a major project, it's always got to be over $100, right? The minor fee project, you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah. The minimum would be is $200 at least.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure.
Yeah.
I also want to ask the question,
Thank you.
if I may. So, thank you, Mr. Krantz. An application fee of $150 plus a minor project fee of $100, or a minor project fee of
Correct. Yeah, so they would be
Got it.
separate fees.
Yep.
The way I thought of it, the application fee is to take that in, process the application, make sure it all meets requirements. And then engineering would be separate. Engineering review would be separate.
Thank you. Okay. And these fees are in line with communities of our size and in our area?
Yes, I actually did find another community that followed the same set structure here. We're suggesting for the 0.005 cents per square foot of land area that will be disturbed. And that I'm not sure if that's where Mark got it, but that is in line with what other communities are doing.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question, if I might, Mr. Chairman.
Please do.
The major project, the fee of that, 5 cents or whatever per square foot doesn't really line up with the concept of the depth of a project. So for instance, a cut and fill project, which would have many cubic yards, including the depth, would change that number substantially, and the fee would go up. A square foot number on the ground is pretty tiny compared to, the volume of the project. I'm concerned with the amount of material, I guess, that's moved and the length of things and the depth of things. That's the real project,
Well,
not just a square foot of land area. But
I-
and so, for instance, let's say you've got a large land area, but you're only going to do work in a small area, but you're going to do a tremendous amount of damage in that area. You're going to build a 10-foot retaining wall, and you're going to do a lot of excavation, and it's a tiny fee if you're only working in, the corner of a huge lot or something like that. I don't know. It's just, I guess there's no real way to put a good handle on it.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm trying
let
to
me
get
ask-
it. I'm trying to get the fee tied into the work rather than into the square foot of land. That's what I'm trying to think of.
I tried this maybe 4 or 5 years ago when I was planning board, and they wouldn't go for it. As I said, it's the last chance for us to get money before stuff happens. Let me be a little bit of an advocate on this, Ken, if I understand what you're saying. And we haven't discussed this before, but the 0.005 cents per square foot of land area,
That would be
is just,
disturbed.
that's just the planar area.
Yeah.
Okay. You're talking about the volume, but let me ask a question. We're reviewing plans at this point. Is the amount of work, Dan, that gets done, if there is more volume to the work than just, let's say think about it. I don't know the answer from your perspective. Is it more work to look at a three-dimensional or a deeper three-dimensional amount of work or not? I don't know the answer.
I don't think it's a significant difference based on, all the stormwater projects we've been reviewing. Another thing, it's probably easier to measure the square footage than measuring a volume and coming up with a cost, just because you can scale off the plan or in AutoCAD, you can come up with that area. I mean, they can do volumes too, but
Excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Please do.
Maybe I can simplify this. So, but we're basically talking about the DPW's in-house review fee. That's what we're talking about, right, Dan?
yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so maybe the solution for me would be major project is a flat fee of $200 plus that number per square foot of land. So you have a guarantee, you get the 200 for, that's like, whatever, I'm going to say $100 an hour, that's 2 hours of work. And then the 5 cents per square foot for the land disturbance stays in there, but start with at least a basic fee that might make us happy. And then you just, as you say, you do the square foot calculation, or they can do the square foot calculation or something. I don't know.
So typically, and if I may, really what we're saying is major project fee is $200 or 0.005 per square foot, whichever is greater.
No, I want the 200 as a base, and then I want the 5 cents. Because
Okay.
the reason I say that is if I'm a developer and I'm going in and
I'm not fighting with you, Ken. I get it. I just want to know.
Yeah.
so if I'm doing a trench shoot, an electrical trench no, that's not a stormwater. I got to do a trench for a pipe, let's say.
Yep.
And that trench is only, 2 feet wide by 100 feet long, whatever that is. That's, a couple hundred square feet.
By 4 feet deep, because it's electrical, it's got to be below the frost here.
Right, but I'm not paying for the depth. I'm only
I
paying
got
for
it.
the surface.
I got
So
it.
that's what I'm getting at. I'd go back to you and say, well, that's just not enough money. 5 cents a square foot.
Okay.
So that's my suggestion to the board.
To be honest with you, I don't know, and if we get huge pushback from it, we'll find out. But I can't see as $200 plus 0.005 per square foot of being anything that's going to. I'm thinking about the town at this point. Unless it's a tear down somewhere, there's not a lot of major projects out there. I mean, there are some, but the one I can think of is Stratton Hill. The site work's pretty much done, from what I understand. It's in place, and I'm wondering how that will happen.
Well, one other thing, Ken, that you kind of bring it up, you could have a major project that's based off of volume right here. See
Yeah.
where I highlighted? So that kind of skews off using square yardage.
Yeah, but at least, but since we're only talking about the DPW fee,
Yeah.
I just want to guarantee that you guys have some money to review the plans and get a small fee for that.
Yeah, so I think that's good to have that 200 then, because if somebody comes in with a volume of earth resulting in a quantity greater than 2,200 cubic yard change, that covers us.
And I will state right now that if we discover these fees don't work, I have a feeling this board will be more than amenable to changing it,
Yeah.
to reconsidering it in the future. I would hope. Okay,
Mr. Chair, can I request he goes back to that previous page, Dan,
please.
again?
Here.
The one, the page regarding the minor and major projects. Somewhere in there you had the word engineer if required. I want to just see that, where that was again.
On the stormwater regulations, or
Yeah, somewhere it said if applicable to
oh, okay.
the engineer or something like that, which line, I got it, since it's on the screen, I'm not going to go look at my stuff. It might be on the, just keep going down there.
Under fees.
No, it was not, it was in the application, not in the regulations.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, just in the application we're working on. We're
You
done
gotta
with
do a
that.
search.
Yeah.
Okay, so project type, major projects.
Yep.
I just said, there was something in here that said,
Where he's highlighted.
It's
Engineer.
yellow in the pink.
okay,
It
right
says
there.
if applicable.
Yeah, okay, here it is. I wanted just to go to that. So I think the engineering or consultant fee. Engineering or consultant review fee.
We're protected under the second bullet, which says outside consultant review fee. Minor and major projects is to be determined by the planning board as obtained from its consultant.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're looking. Oh, okay.
So we end up with $200 for the DPW plus whatever,
Okay.
depending on how we handle that.
I just
Given-
wanted to make
given-
sure that a major project, they must have a professional engineer is what
Yes.
that's what I'm trying to concern myself, that if it's a major project, they're going to need a professional engineer's drawing.
Yeah. And we're pretty swamped, so if you get another major project, it could go to a consultant anyway. But
Okay. all
we
right,
got to cover ourselves no matter what. So
Okay.
Thank you.
What is this? Is there more to the application?
yeah. So then there's. I put a bullet in if we wanted to do inspection fees, but I think we should not right now. The only inspection required is a final inspection. And then other than that, we're allowed to go inspect whenever we want at a site. So I think we should just, I listed it in here, in
So-
case anyone was concerned, but
Yeah, and so, no. Basically, the only way we can quantify that would be on an hourly basis, Dan.
yeah,
And
so I think delete.
I'm thinking about how that would play. We've got, we have, the town has to, we have to perform the function. If we get in a situation where we're performing the function on an a la carte basis, I have a feeling that's going to be more contentious than it's worth. And we might miss inspections. If we end up in a situation where the other thing is happening, and that is, heaven forbid, something comes up that requires a lot, hit the brakes and redo it, we're going to be at the drawing board anyway. If there's that big a problem. Hopefully don't. So,
Yeah.
And if we get really busy, we might have to put it in the future.
Yeah. So yeah, I think delete that. And then the last thing is just the advertising fee for the newspaper. That's cost to be
And
determined.
that cost be determined and borne by the applicant. Please. Okay. So it's assumed, but I'm sure that's going to be clear.
Yeah.
Well, like everything else we do, I'm sure whatever we do here, we're going to find out. I like that. Page 2.
Yeah.
Page 3 of 2, excuse me. I had one question I wanted to ask about. Like anything we've done, we're going to find out in the first application that we missed something, but we'll be open-minded.
Yeah.
About it. Who would have thought the OSRD would be what it was, right? The denominator kills. Okay, if you go, could you go back to the first page, please? And it says under location of property, street address, registry, book and page, assessor's map. That'll be a parcel, and assessor's map map number and parcel. You don't want anything from the registry for a plot plan. You just want the most recent registry book and page. The reason I ask is there's a lot of land around here that's really convoluted. I don't think we can capture it. I'm just asking. I'm putting it out there.
Yeah, I just assume the most recent,
Okay.
the property that's going to be, worked on.
The other thing is, for those of you who are not initiated to the Middlesex Registry of Deeds, any plot plan that was drawn or recorded before 1963 or 67 is not available online. They haven't gotten there yet, and they probably won't. Mr. Wetzel had a copy of a plan from 1907 that I needed the other day. It was actually very, very nice of him to have that. So, okay.
Yeah, we got some oldies. Yep. We got
I was surprised.
70 something.
And they're hand drawn. It's great. Okay. Any further questions from any members of the board on the application? Except let's put a nice, town seal on it. What do you say, huh?
That's a good idea.
You can gussy it up any way you want without me here. Without us here, Dan. Okay. Any further comments?
I have one more.
Please.
This, I think, is where I actually had the thought about the, if applicable, number 3 on the first page where we just had it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking here, we would not use the if applicable, we would just leave a civil engineer, maybe civil engineer or architect information. Sometimes an architect can do a small project, right, Dan?
Mhm.
And it doesn't need to be a civil engineer.
Yeah, a minor project.
But I'd like to take the word if applicable out, and if it doesn't apply, they can just put NA in there. But
Yeah.
the emphasis would be that typically we would expect an engineer involved rather than the opposite. If I see if applicable, I think, well, maybe there's no expectation, but I'd
Mhm.
rather have it set up as though there's an expectation for an engineer.
I look at it this way. Dan, this thing comes across your desk. You weren't in when they dropped it off. They dropped it off thinking it was correct. You got to call the guy. This makes your life easier. And you might actually ask for an email. And that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would ask for email for owner and email for engineer and leave it at that. Please. I mean, I'm thinking about, so Dan, you get back to the shop, somebody dropped off an application and they had to run, whatever happened. You've got the information in front of you to be able to do the job you have to do. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense.
So Jeff, you are okay with taking the word if applicable out?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
No, I was gonna, yes, I was thinking if major, if minor, blah, 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 but let's not go down the decision tree. Let's just put it there, get what we can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that.
We won't ask for firstborn or fingerprints, okay?
Okay.
And it's assumed in Middlesex registry, so I'm not gonna worry about that.
Yeah.
With the exception of that one section of Shaker Road, which isn't in our town. Okay, guys, sorry. Fantastic. Any other concerns or questions from the board?
I think it's good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dan. Thanks for being so open to our suggestions. With that, I take, do we need to do a motion in acceptance of the application, or are we all set? I turn to Mr. Archambault for that. You're on mute.
Yeah, I think we're all set. There should be a motion to accept the application form.
Good.
Go along with the regs themselves.
May we have a motion, please?
I make a motion that we accept the stormwater application applicable to the stormwater regulations as edited and revised this day, August 25th, 2020.
Seconded.
Thank you. Seconded by Julie. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you, Dan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Good to have this in place.
I'm glad it's done.
All right.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Thanks, you too. So, next on our list is the town planner update.
Hold on. We have a hearing to close, maybe.
I'm sorry, thank you very much. May I have a motion to close the public hearing, please, for the stormwater regulations?
So moved.
Do
Second.
we have a second?
I second it.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I was talking. Big surprise. Moved and seconded to close the public hearing. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Abstentions? None. Fantastic. I should probably just say passed unanimous on. Okay, town planner update.
Okay, what I'd like to just discuss briefly is the upcoming meeting schedule. On September 22nd, I was hoping originally to have Wayne Fiden, who's the Northampton planner, an expert on performance guarantees and bonding. I was hoping that he could do a remote training of the planning board for about an hour to answer our questions about, what type of performance guarantees are better, the pros and cons of various approaches, and how to administer them. Now that it looks like the GPR cases, Washington Street and Solar 2, will likely need to be discussed heavily on September 22nd. I'm thinking that it might be best to try to push out the training to the first meeting in October. I'm not sure what date actually is the first meeting in October, but I think that might work better.
Okay. So why don't we, if I may suggest, the first meeting in October is going to be the 13th, lucky Tuesday the 13th. Let's recommend this. Why don't we plan on pushing it from the 22nd, Mark, and let's talk, because I had a couple of ideas about a training.
Yes.
And a fair number of us are spending a fair amount of time in Zoom meetings right now. So I wanted to get some feedback from the members of the board about how we can move forward on that. Just our budget for time in a meeting is an hour. We can get more if we want it, but I'm concerned about taking an hour on something that we may not need to take an hour for, to be honest. Okay. Any feedback from other board members? Okay. Thanks, Mark. So let's talk about that offline.
Yep, we can move it around. And when I talked to Mr. Fiden, he said that, he would be amenable to any specific date, that I told him that our caseload fluctuates and that we may need to move it a little bit. So that would be fine.
Thank you.
And the other item I wanted to bring up, if time allows, is to discuss some of the issues that have come up around a previously approved site plan for Cataldo Landscaping at 66 Westfield Road.
Mm-hmm.
Should I just go ahead right now on that, or would you like to?
I'd actually like to say a few things about that.
Yes.
I've got a couple other things we wanted to talk about. So I have 4 things on my list to discuss. What's going on with Global Montello and the performance they have to perform. A traffic study this month. Again, Cataldo, that's on my list. Bonding for John Carroll. I have that down twice. Those are the 3 things I wanted to discuss, and I want to get our meeting minutes taken care of. So in the world of, why don't we move on to old business, Mark, and we'll take care of those things. And if I may, in the interest of time, let's talk about Mr. Cataldo, the landscaper. I think we all received the email and the concerns from the DPW that Mr. Cataldo's site is not in keeping with the approved site plan. That's, I think, the general gist of the issue. Mr. Schultz has been involved with the Cataldo project, and if I can paraphrase, and Mark, please correct me if I'm incorrect, it is his feeling is that the project is in the spirit of the accepted site plan. It is moving towards there. Currently, there are no bins in the back for storage of material. Material is just being stored. I wouldn't say willy-nilly, but it's being stored not the way we expected it to be when the project was complete, as we saw in the site plan review. This begs a question that Mr. Diskin brought up, and jump in, Ken, if you'd like, but we're curious about stormwater management and piles of, really, there's piles of sand some days, piles of loam some days. I believe they were storing product over the winter for their snow. I'm actually honestly surprised how busy that site is and how much is there. So there's that. The other part of it was the building may not look like the elevations we saw from the road. And the other issue, another issue is the landscaping between the road and the building. There is still currently a fence in place. There is I believe a sign that's been recently roughed in that's going in. I went by today and it looked like that. So they're moving forward. That the issue, Mark, pretty much?
Yes, my understanding is it has taken a long time for them to obtain the financing to finish the site. And, certainly right now it's in an unfinished state. And I feel that it's probably too soon to try to do any sort of enforcement action or forceful pushing of them. But I think it would be a good idea perhaps to see what their schedule is, the schedule of when they plan to complete the site work according to the plan, when they plan to put the material storage bins in the back, when they plan to complete the parking lot between the building and the stockpile area, and when they plan to put in the landscaping both around the building and between the building and Westford Road. All of which would improve the appearance of the site and I think bring it into greater conformity with the approved site plan. So okay. I'd be willing to write a letter to Mr. Cataldo to that effect, asking for clarification on the schedule of their work. Mm-hmm. And my understanding too is Superintendent Wetzel said that he would also separately contact him and do an inspection and get that information back to us. So I believe we need a little bit more information to assess the compliance of this site at this time.
Okay. How long would it take to put a letter together? Schedule what's on your plate right now.
I could do that tomorrow. Yeah.
So why don't we say, what's today, Tuesday? How about by Thursday? So by Thursday, end of business or something like that?
Yes.
If you wanted to do that, and by all means, once you get it done, please forward it to us. We'll take a quick look at it.
Sure.
Call me on the phone if I don't see it by email, and I'll look at it. But I think that's a really good. I think that's a great way to move forward. Okay. You know, and I honestly, it could be fairly short. Just
right.
The project looks like it's languishing. What is your plan?
Right.
Yeah. Thank you. Is that okay with other members of the board?
Yeah, I have a comment, Mr. Chair.
Please.
So he was represented by a civil engineer, and the civil engineer did most of the discussion during the presentation. I assume we're going to send a copy of the letter to the civil engineer on the job. But in my, I was looking through my hard drive because I typically save these site plans, and I did not find it. So could you, Mark, Heather, whoever has a copy of the electronic site plan, forward that site plan to us, and maybe at the next meeting we can put it on the agenda. We could all look at the site plan and then drive by the place and say, okay, yeah, this is what we expect to see in the next, 3 or 4 months, something like that. So we're not out in the dark on.
Right.
It's been 2 years is what it basically was approved 2 years ago.
I don't have a copy of it either. That's wild. Huh.
Yeah. I have a folder with notes on it and, the report from Mark, but no copy of the the electronic copy of the site plan. So maybe we never got one then because, you know, they came before us in real time, things like that.
And I've got nothing in the way of Westford Road, but that would be helpful too. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Krantz, I see your hand.
I believe I have a PDF. If not, I can
Hold on, Jonathan, please.
scan the 11 by 17 plan and send that out. And it's Oak Consulting Group was the engineering firm that did the plan. So I would like to send the letter to both Mr. Cataldo and the consulting group.
Great, thank you. Mr. Krantz, you had your hand up first.
Yeah, I'm going to state the obvious. Just, Mark, I think it's important that when you compose this letter, yes, I do believe it's short, but I think it is important to at least bullet list the issues of concern.
Mhm.
And he's saying, you know, these are the areas of concern that have arisen by reports from Charlie Schultz, et cetera, and that we're concerned about specifically, and we'd like to know what's the scheduled progress, and what are your plans for each of these? When do you anticipate completion? And that way, there's something specific for him to respond to. Whether you say, if we just say generally, "Oh, it seems to be behind," we could get a general response. "Oh, we're doing the best we can to keep up." I mean, that's what I want to avoid, right? That kind of
Appreciate it.
generalized response.
Excellent.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Excellent idea. Yes.
Other input from board members? So unless you've got anything on Cataldo on the Westford Road property, I wanted to talk a little bit about Global Montello. Mark, it came up on our tickler list. I forget whom it was who brought it to my attention. I think it was Mark. But Global Montello had agreed to do a traffic study September of this year. Even with coronavirus, they're going to go forward with the traffic study, and they will have the numbers for us. The study will take place over a couple of weeks, in September. They've given us a schedule. It will not be done by human being. It'll be done by video, and it will be analyzed after that, and they'll be forwarding us the information. So they are in compliance with the request, and we expect to have something from them by the end of September, which was the request at this point. And they've been, they responded to Mark's email overnight, basically. So they knew, they had it on their list, which was good. So that's ready to go. Ken, you want to talk a little bit about the thing about the bonding? Oh, yes. Mr. Mark, the gentleman who's the purchaser of John Carroll Reserve, his name is Dolores, correct?
Where is it?
I'm sorry.
Peter DeCarolis.
I'm sorry?
DeCarolis is the person's name.
DeCarolis, thank you.
Yep.
I apologize to you publicly for botching your name, sir. The purchaser of the John Carroll Reserve has asked a couple of questions about how the covenant and how the bonding works here in Ayer. To be honest with you all, we're kind of in a new world with covenant and the bonding. The presentation about covenant from GPR, the previous meeting, was very helpful. Covenants are things that are accepted in Massachusetts. We have a request from the DPW that we get a bond also. As you may recall, that bond is typically, the value of the bond is based upon the assumed value of the site work on the project. In chatting about this with Mr. Diskin and a little bit about this with Mark, the proponent would like to have a conversation with the board about it. I would hope that the board would agree that where I'd like to be is have a covenant, but I want dollars in hand should something bad happen and the town doesn't end up holding the bag. I don't want to punish a developer, but I definitely want a developer to participate in this and do the right bonding. So the numbers that we had for John Carroll Reserve were numbers put together by Mr. Wetzel and by GPR. They are not the engineers for this project. They're just trying to get it forward for the sale. So we would have to work with Mr. DeColoris, I believe, to find out what his engineering estimates are and then work backward from there to ascertain what the bond would be. When we accepted the site plan and the covenant recently, we said that money needs to be in hand before site work begins, if I'm not mistaken. So what I'm asking the board is this. We'll follow up with the proponent. He's got a series of questions, and I'm more than happy to share his questions with you all via email. I apologize. It's one long run-on sentence, his email. It came from one email system. If, Mark, you have it, you could forward it to us, that'd be great. It just is all one big gobbledygook sentence at this point, so you have to read it carefully to parse it. But with the board's permission, I'd like to take the time it's going to take to work with the proponent so that he understands what he's getting into, and that we have performance along the way. Any further comments? I hope that wasn't too confusing.
I'll make a comment if possible.
Okay. Yeah, please.
So first thing is we signed the covenant as a board, and I'd respectfully request that final copy, which I did read it before I signed it, and I'm confident that the changes we talked about were present in the covenant that we signed, but I'd now like to have a copy of that covenant for our files and, in our computers and so forth. So we need to get a copy of that covenant so we can double check it. And then using that, we can, I guess, backtrack to the thoughts you had, Jeff, about the bonding. I kind of understood it a little differently, so I'm willing to get straightened out here. I kind of thought that the covenant was stronger than a bond in a way, based on the analysis we had, and that the gentleman could not, get permission we wouldn't release a lot until he reached a certain level of performance. And then at that time that we would bond the balance of the work. So that I have a different understanding than the chairman. So I'd like to get it clarified, I guess, so that we're on the same page before we talk to the gentleman, I guess. So we talk in a unified, voice. But the way I remember it, so that's not a fact because it's only my memory, was that we had a covenant that's now in place. It's on the land. It's going to go in perpetuity to the next owner, successors, whatever the title is that they use in the language. So the new owner, if he buys it, is going to have that covenant. Then at that point in time, we have to determine, I guess, if the covenant is strong enough for us he has enough of an incentive with the covenant in place to build the road to Binder, which is what I kind of understood.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would release the first lot, 2 lots, whatever he requests. So we'd talk about the release at that point, and then come up with a bond balance for the balance. So the way I thought of it in my mind is if I was just rounding it off to $500,000. But the other clarification before I go beyond onto the numbers, Jeff, was we're looking really for a construction estimate from his contractors rather than an engineering estimate. And the construction estimate, let's guess it at $500,000. So it may take him $300,000 or $350,000 to get all the utilities in place and, the whole 9 yards and get the paving. And maybe he has 150 left. So potentially the covenant would be good till cover us for the first 350. If the guy walks away from the job, we own all the lots. So we have a subdivision with lots the town can turn around and sell at that point in time because, we own them. If he doesn't,
work's done too.
But so I would feel great if the guy would give us, as Mr. Chairman suggested, if we can get a bond and a covenant, number one, the best protection you could possibly get. But I wasn't sure we had to go to that extent. That's all I'm looking for as a clarification. Thank you.
I know, and Ken, that's actually a very good characterization of the conversation we had today. So, absolutely. But with the board's permission, Mr. Diskin and I will work with Mr. Archambault to talk to the proponent and keep him moving forward. Okay. Thanks. And by all means, we won't do it as a meeting, but if you have a concern, reach out to me, and I'd love to hear it if something occurs to you. Those are my notes for old and new business. The next on our list are minutes. And we have both July 28th and August 11th, I believe, to do. And I want to say thank you very much to Mr. Krantz for the effort he's put into the minutes. And by the way, Ken, thank you very much for your work on the stormwater management piece. as it is, people get close to documents and things happen. Spell checkers happen, whatever. So I appreciate that, Ken. You did the work you did on the stormwater. But Mr. Krantz, thank you very much for working on the minutes. Do we have any? First of all, let's take a motion for. Why don't we start with July 28th because it's chronologically first.
I make a motion to accept the minutes for July 28th, 2020.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion at this point? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstains? Passed unanimously. Motion, please, for August 11th minutes.
Make a motion to accept the minutes for August 11th, 2020.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
Yes.
Please.
So the only discussion I had was there's a paragraph in there that says that this is regarding the original stormwater utility that the town, it says the town meeting passed the utility and then was voted down by the selectmen. I believe that's the language in the minutes, but I thought it was down, the selectmen didn't approve the warrant article, so it just didn't go through town meeting. In other words, I never thought it passed town meeting because the selectmen were opposed to it.
I just did read the minutes as how Mr. Wenzel said it. So
That's how he said it? Okay.
if that's mistake, then he misspoke, but that's how he said it during the meeting. So I don't
Okay.
know what happened at town meeting since I wasn't here then.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if it's worthwhile bothering with that or not. I mean, if that's what he said, that's fine. That's in the minutes then. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. Anything else in anybody else's mind that I missed? I'd like to thank you all. Take a motion to adjourn when you have a moment. And thank you all for, yes, Mr. Krantz.
So moved.
My children would love to be able to do that. It's been moved and we adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Have a wonderful time off, guys. Thank you.